Alright, this might be tough for some folks, however, it shouldn't be too bad if you stick with me here. For first big assignment, where you're going to do a little bit of filmmaking on our own, or at least film editing. On the course site, there will be a file of short video clips. First download this file, then open that file in your video editor of choice. For this tutorial, I'll be going through the process of editing using Adobe Rush, included in the student subscription of the Adobe Creative Cloud. But this can also be done in Blender. Blender is a free open source software that's way more powerful than Adobe Rush, has a massive learning curve that might be a bit steep for a beginner, but it's open source license and doesn't contribute to the proliferation of exploitative software licensing practices by Adobe. Ideological beliefs aside, we will be using Rush for this tutorial. It's pretty easy, and I've given the workshop at the Cabell Library a heads up, so if there's any questions I can't answer, you can ask them nicely, and their talented student aide should be able to help with basic issues. Alright, so now that you have Rush open, downloaded, installed, you'll see a screen prompting you to open an existing project or start a new project. We're going to select create a new project and select your media file that you've previously downloaded. On this main screen, there are a few elements to pay attention to. Your timeline at the bottom shows the linear representation of the film over time. Clicking on this timeline will move you through the clip. On the left side of the screen, if you click the plus icon, you can add additional video files to the project. And if you click the see everything in your project icon, you'll be shown all of the video files in your project. From here, you can simply drag and drop the video files into your timeline. Just dragging and dropping clips in a order that makes sense in describing those decisions is enough to do this assignment, but not very interesting, so let's get a bit more creative. The center screen on this main page is just a video player. You can play the video in your timeline to see what the final project is going to look like. In the timeline, you can do a few things. Any video file can be dragged and repositioned, or we can cut up these video files and more freely reorganize them. If you press the left and right arrows on your keyboard, you can also scroll through a video frame by frame, backwards or forwards. Then once the blue line is in position on your timeline, you can press the little scissor icon on the left side of the screen and make a cut, splitting one clip into two on the timeline. Both clips then can be dragged and repositioned. Prior to digital film, an editor would receive the developed film in separate labeled canisters. Afterwards, working with the director and director of photography to physically cut the developed film with a tiny cutter called a splicer. And both sides of the film would have been reconnected using special, it's like a cellulose tape. The film could be watched by the editor using a small projection device like a microfiche projector. Ask your parents what microfiche is. I guess if you were born after the year 2000 or after the towers fell, ask your grandparents. It's an absolute nightmare. There's still some in the library if you want to play with one. What you're doing here is identical to that process, just digital. So now that we know how to manipulate video clips in the timeline, you can cut and edit your sequence in whatever order you choose. You can even bring in photos in the timeline and drag the bounding bar to expand the time those photos appear on the screen, as I've done in this video. Add your own footage if you really want to get fancy. That's fine as well. Rush is kind of peculiar with certain formats. I'm using MP4 for everything. It doesn't really like more complex formats. Once your sequence is edited, you might want to do something with the audio. Maybe provide some voiceover or dub the voices of your characters. Might be funny. In other words, add diegetic or non-diegetic audio, as we've talked about. It's just as easy as doing the editing. If you go back to olden times, 30 years ago, the audio would have been edited just like film, in kind of its own strip, magnetic audio. Whenever you see films being made in real life, you might be familiar with the clappy chalkboard thing. They snap after screaming action. This is called a slate or a clapperboard. They serve a few purposes. The surface denotes which scene an act is being filmed, the take or number of times this sequence has been filmed, the director of the production company to keep the film rolls separated so they don't get mixed up. And finally, the clap sound made by the slate is used for syncing the film with the audio during editing. So in an audio file, they would have seen the peak of that clap. We are able to visually see the audio. They would have been listening for that clap. So if you're using voices or you're doing your own, you might want to make a noise that helps you sync the audio if you need to do that. Modern slates are wirelessly connected to the cameras, and audio recorders are set to switch on when the clapper is used directly. It actually, few of the sets I've been on, you clap, the audio recording immediately turns on, the camera immediately rolls. Back when it was film, you would hear audio rolling, film rolling, action, and that then tells your audio team to get things working, get the microphones on, tells your camera team to get the cameras working. Returning to Rush, if you mouse over your timeline, you can right-click on individual clips and select Expand Audio, which will show you the audio under that selected clip, or you can select Separate Audio, which will also show you the audio but disconnect it from the video, so both portions can be manipulated individually. If you drag and drop audio into the clip, it will show up as a separated audio clip and can be repositioned anywhere on your timeline. Just a heads up, Rush only seems to like MP3 audio, so if you have a FLAC file or something with a low compression rate, you may need to convert that file to MP3. All the media files I've provided are the correct format. I don't show this in the tutorial, but Rush also has a tool for recording voiceover as well as tools for adding basic effects to the video. These are found in the menu to the right side of the screen. Once you've sequenced, edited your audio, if you choose to use audio, you may not. We've looked at silent film up to now, so you may not choose to use audio. But placed everything in time on the timeline, it's time to render your video. Rush refers to this process as sharing, but every other piece of software you use will call this rendering. Rendering is the process of processing your finalized edited clip. If we travel again back to the Stone Age, once a master was edited, or a master copy, that was then copied, and those copies were crammed into large film canisters that were leased to third-party theaters or lent to studios to run during the release of the film. In some cases, an entire film came in multiple canisters and would need to be spliced by Tyler Durden in a projection room. However, in the digital age, this isn't done as frequently. It is still done. I've seen projection rooms with giant reels of film, or multiple films have been spliced together to just run throughout the day, so it's almost automated.
Hi, Ann. What you doing Saturday night?
Well, I guess I'm busy.
Oh, yeah? Any chance of giving him the brush off for me?
Why, yes, Woody. I'll have to talk to my folks about it, but I think I can go. That would be fun. Two, three, 4, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Ann. What you doing Saturday night?
Well, I guess I'm busy.
Oh, yeah? Any chance of giving him the brush off for me?
Why, yes, Woody. I'll have to talk to my folks about it, but I think I can go. That would be fun. Two, three, 4, 5, 7, 6, 8, 9,
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Anyway, once everything is done, click share at the top of the window, then click local, select a place to save the video file, make sure it's an MP4, it should be by default, and click export. This will save the finished film. This might take some time, so don't freak out if it's not instant. During the rendering process, the software takes an individual JPEG of every frame in your film that includes any sort of visual effects. It then syncs those JPEGs with the audio and organizes it into an MP4 file. Depending on the speed of your computer, this might take longer. Full-length films with a lot of special effects, a high frame rate with lots of computer animation can take weeks to render across multiple computers. Luckily, a 5-minute film in Rush shouldn't take more than 10 minutes, but it could take 30. Don't worry about it if it takes a little bit of time. Just go do something, come back to it. If you're doing this in the library, don't render your film close to their closing time. Save your project on a flash drive and come back to render. No one wants to wait around for you to finish your work when it's time to go home for the night. Once your film is finished, you'll want to turn it in. We will be doing this through Kultura, which can be accessed by Googling VCU Kultura or navigating the VCU website. From the main page, sign in using your EID, select My Media at the top of the browser window, and select the plus sign to add media. From here, drag and drop your MP4 file into the upload window. Include your last name and the name of your film in the title. Add some tags, whatever, this is just a Kultura requirement. Make the video private and select save. Give it a few minutes to upload. Again, I think Kultura has its own rendering process. And open this video in another Kultura window once it's prepared. From the video window, you can click Action under the video player and select Edit from the editing screen. Select Timeline, and you should see a timeline similar to the Rush timeline appear under the video. From here you can select specific points in the film. Click Add Chapter for each edit you've made, and you can type your justification in the chapter caption section afterwards, clicking Save. From here your video can be submitted to any system connected to Kaltura, almost any VCU system. For our purpose, you can just submit the Kaltura video in the Canvas tab for this assignment. There should be a button to do that, kind of in the home button of that text entry screen. I know it's a bit convoluted. I would prefer the assignment to be submitted like this, but if you are having terrible time, absolutely not able to do it, you can also submit the video file and text file separately. Just shoot me an email, let me know to look for them. This may take a little bit more time to grade, and your comments won't be connected visually as easy with the Kaltura as it would be with the Kaltura process.